today's world. And I don't think we've ever seen a time when religion was so in need of being, well, not so much changed as just an understanding of the different types of religious orientation that are available. If you think about it, what's probably the cause of most suffering? Human cause. It's probably religion. The sheer number of wars and historical cruelties that have been inflicted in the name of God. It's hard to find some generic single other thing that's caused more human suffering, and is continuing to do so today. And yet there's a type of spirituality, isn't there? The esoteric core of many of the great traditions are not paths of belief, but paths of liberation. That there's actually a way, an experiment, that can be performed that will show you the face of God. Happens to be your own original face as well. The number of people engaged in that form of spiritual pursuit is less than 0.1% of the population. The percentage of worldwide population engaging in mythic, dogmatic, esoteric form of religion is about 70%. And it's very strange that the word religion is used to apply to that activity that causes the most human suffering and to the sole activity known to alleviate human suffering. It's a little strange, isn't it? So when you say, well, what we need is more spirituality, actually we need a whole lot less of most forms of spirituality, a whole lot less. And then in this incredibly minuscule percentage of people that are using spirituality as a form of awareness training, as a form of attention training. But all of that, again, is part of the experiment that doesn't just lead to, reduced blood pressure and your brain waves even out, and all that's fine. What ultimately it is about is discovering absolute reality. Relaxation response? 3 martinis is a relaxation. 6 martinis and you find God, but mostly it's just a good relaxation response. Meditation is the royal road to ultimate reality. It's the only practice we're aware of around the world that has that goal. And yet, if you look at the press, for example, the press doesn't understand anything near these distinctions. The press really has a hard time telling you why what the Dalai Lama is doing and what Jimmy Swaggart is doing are different. It doesn't really understand that. And that's one of the most astonishing disasters that we're facing. Yet pretty much everybody in this room is part of that less than 0.1%. And we sort of take it for granted that that's, spirituality, that's what it's about. And that the world understands that. The world does not understand that. And so even when you get in Eastern countries, if you look at probably the religion that is the most rigorous experiment for awareness training, namely Buddhism, you still find the majority of people that are practicing Buddhists are doing some sort of Pure Land Buddhism, or it's the same fundamentalism. And so how to let the world understand, at the very least, that these are two, they're so different, they shouldn't even be treated under the same rubric, and yet they are. And so that's one of the problems that we face. We can't go out there and start recommending new forms of spirituality until the world understands the difference between pre-rational and trans-rational. And until that simple understanding sinks in, we are in a lot of trouble. And the idea that somehow the world is going to adopt this 0.1% understanding, and Karl Rove and Osama bin Laden are going to both start meditating. Guess what the odds are? So we got to get straight about this. You know, we're all involved in this kind of approach, and we think, my God, it's the new paradigm, it's the new approach. The world's going to do this. It's going to be a sweeping transformation unlike the world has ever seen. That's delusional. That's not going to. You're going to sweeping transformation of North Boulder, maybe. And I'm all for that. And we'll parachute them into Afghanistan when they're done. So what we generally do is we have some microphones set up, and we'll just sort of go like this, a little bit freewheeling. Towards the end of the couple of hour session that we're going to talk, we'll try and bring it back home a little bit to some of your immediate awareness and the nature of your present awareness, the nature of your already enlightened mind, and why any attempt to even seek that mind is just a perpetual ignoring of it. So what happens when the great search is over and your own non-grasping mind sort of shines forth? That's the kind of thing that we would like to end on, just an ongoing recognition of this I amness in you, this extraordinary awareness, and this extraordinary fact that this I amness in you, just the very sense of your I amness, is that small thread that leads straight to the supreme identity and your original face and the face of God and the Goddess. So within that extraordinary awareness, the world is arising. And the world is in a lot of trouble, isn't it? So we have a lot of people here with the solutions. So let's just start doing this and just a little bit freewheeling, and we'll calm down a little bit towards the end, but let's just get crazy.